to my channel, and today we'll be discussing the movie Whispers that I just saw either a week ago or a couple days ago. I don't really remember. So basically, I watched the movie Whispers, and I actually thought of it as to be like a very different horror movie than I've seen, because like the theme of it, I feel like it does teach like a lesson, but at the same time, it's like the twisted lesson. At least to me, it is. So, one thing, let's start off the movie. So the movie is basically about a family, and like they have a daughter, and she actually ends up like dying and stuff like that. And the mom is like grieving because of like the death of the daughter and stuff like that. So that's like what it's about. So how the movie starts off is that there's like a mother, and there's not the mother that grows up, but like her mother, and then there's like the grandmother, because like the father has died, so he leaves like his like this basically leaves the house for her, and and gives like them this big nice house and everything, and leaves that. And so because of that and everything, her mother, like the original mother and everything, couldn't really take care of her. So she's like left with like the grandmother, because like she has like problems and stuff like that. And then there's like a little boy. I don't know if he's like what he is, if he's a family friend or if he's like the brother, but there's like a little boy, and he's also there too. And you know, so basically he and the little boy are out there like playing and stuff, and she picks up a doll, and literally, it's actually a haunted doll. And then she ends up like bringing the doll with her wherever she goes and stuff like that. And the little brother like tries to like burn the doll and stuff like that, because like he and the mom know that the doll is like not good and stuff like that, because she literally tried to hide the doll before. But then she comes in, and she's basically like messing with the little girl's mind. She's like, oh, he's very she doesn't like you, he's a bad whatever he is to them, because he's like, because there's like a scene where she's like talking about her, because like in her head she's an imaginary friend, but she's like literally just a ghost and stuff like that. And then she's like in her head saying, oh, she and then we're playing like the scene, and the scene is like saying, oh, you're crazy, there's no one there. And then she puts that in her head and stuff like that. And then I think like they conjoin each other or something, because like there's a scene where like there's like the ghost, and then there's like going back and forth to the ghost and to her. And so basically the ghost, which I think possesses her, basically ends up like drowning the little boy and stuff like that. And then after that, there's like, you see like the symbolic of her like character and stuff like that. She ends up basically like changing her hair color and stuff like that, and dressing like darker. Like she literally goes from being a blonde to someone who literally has like black hair. So that's like, to me, the symbolics of someone who's grieving, and someone who's like really sad and stuff like that. Of course she's gonna be sad, her child just died. So I feel like that's like the some symbolicity of like death and stuff like that, and how she's like grieving and stuff. And then it's just her and like the mom just laying in bed and stuff like that, and she's like holding on to her other child that she has, because she's like grieving, and then there's like a flashback of like years later and stuff like that. And flashback is like she's in therapy because she has now lost a child. I think that's I feel, no, that's literally a parallel, because first her mother loses a child, and now she's lost a child in the same way, because both of her children have drowned. I think her brother has drowned, her daughter has drowned. So that's like a parallel to each other, which I didn't even notice until I finished watching the movie, which is actually pretty cool now that I think about it. And then they have another thing. And then after that, she's like going through the whole periods of grief, and top of that, she's seeing like the goals and stuff like that. Then we go back down to like the later scenes of the movie and everything. After all of that happens and everything, we get to see like the therapy scenes and stuff like that, which I thought was like cool because in movies you never really see that, especially in horror movies you never see that, and you see like his point of view and her point of view. Like his point of view is like, oh, you're just thinking about yourself and stuff like that, but her point of view is like very like she's like in her head about it. But the thing is like, I feel like what men don't realize and everything is for the fact of like she is the mother and everything, and she's gonna take it harder than he does, because at the end of the day they're not the one growing a life in them, and they're not the one losing that child and stuff like that. So obviously it's gonna hit her harder. But I'm not gonna invalidate his feelings because that is also her daughter. But the way he said it and the way he worded it was just very disrespectful and made it seem like he's the victim in the situation. Like, yes, you lost a child, she lost a child, but she's gonna take it hard because she grew this child in her for 9 months. She pushed this child out. She went through all of those changes with her body, emotionally, physically, and everything, because she got pregnant with this child and everything, and then she loses it. I'm not gonna invalidate his character or her character, but the way he said it was just very disrespectful and made it sound she like she's not that important and stuff like that, and he's the only one who's important. I did not like how he said it and stuff like that. But then after that, they ended up like working through it, and they ended up like, getting back together because there were scenes of her being like seeing being like basically being taunted by the ghost and everything, because they end up like coming back to the house, and he ends up like helping her, and like every time something she would see something, she would tell him, and then there would be nothing. So it was just like the ghost just taunting her and all that happening, which was really petty, to be honest. And then after yeah, and then those scenes would happen and stuff like that, which I'm not gonna lie was actually, you know what, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I thought those scenes were like really cute, where he would just like comfort her and everything. Like that was just so cute and everything. I thought that was really nice, lovely. And then after that, there's like a new family and stuff like that, and like one of the new members are like living in the house and stuff like that, and then they found out that she's pregnant, and then the ghost is at it again, messing with everything. And then the new people that are like looking at the house, the ghost ends up like basically like trying to like kill the lady and stuff like that, because she's like in a sauna, and the ghost ends up blocking the door. They have a fight because she thinks that she was in a sauna, but really she was never even in the sauna because she was sleeping. And then she's like accusing her of killing her because she's having a baby, and the other woman isn't having a baby because she's trying to recover from the loss of her child and all that stuff. And it was just a lot to watch. And then after that, this is the plot twist of the story. I was not expecting it. Like, what I thought was gonna happen was, I literally thought that in this movie that she was going to, you can basically break down generational trauma, because like there's a scene where her and her husband like go back to agreeing with each other and stuff like that, and they like are like back on good terms and stuff, and you can see their marriage working out and everything. And then what happens is that she basically comes out of nowhere, and there's like the ghost and everything, ghosts is still taunting people, and basically she basically ends up killing everybody in the house, because there's this one scene of like new people in the house and stuff. And the people that live there now is like, oh, did you hear about the woman that used to live here? She killed everybody in the house. And I'm like, how did y'all go from being happy-go-lucky couple, working through your problems and everything, working through the loss of your child, to literally drowning somebody, stabbing somebody, and then then her husband, he basically, she doesn't actually kill her husband though. What happens is that the husband is standing up on a chair because the lights went out and stuff like that. And then after that, I don't know, he ends up like tilting back, and then his head hits the there's like some type of conch thing on there that they have, and he ends up like dying because like the traumatic brain injury to the back of his head, and that's like what happens and stuff. But like I said, the other friend, she was drowned by her. She ends up drowning her friend. she ends up stabbing the friend's husband, and then her husband dies by falling off like a chair and hitting the back of his head, and then this like back of his head is fractured, and he's dead now and stuff. Which that ending made. So as I was saying, if it was me and I had written the ending to this story, I would have so shown that she and her husband were going through therapy, and that that they worked things out and everything, and I would also show like her side of like things and everything, like how do I explain it? Like they showed her side of things, but like show her how she like overcame the trials and tribulations because of her daughter's deaths and everything. And yes, she was like going through like the stages of grief and everything, but I wanted her to have that stage of acceptance and not have a whole mass murder of people and stuff like that. Even though she didn't kill her husband, she still did drown her friend, and she still did stab her friend's husband. So yeah. But would I really say they were friends? I mean, yeah, you could say they were friends, honestly. And then at the end of the movie, another show of symbolism they added was that she's back with her daughter now, and she's like really happy. Yeah, and in the movie, you can also see that at the end of the movie, you can see that they use symbolism because her and her daughter are united together because now she's dead and now she's also a ghost like her daughter is, and her and her daughter are like in a playing field and they're both wearing white. And if you don't know this, like a lot of times in movies when they use symbolism colors, white is usually a color of showing peace and unity, and she's basically showing that now as a ghost she's found more like peace with her daughter because now they're like together and stuff like that. And you can see that in the beginning of the movie when she died. But now she's like found peace and everything with her daughter, and that's basically what happens in the movie, and that's basically how it ends and all that stuff. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and have a good day.